Welcome to the A-Train Show. And now here's your host, the A-Train, Arlington Lane.
Welcome to this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train, Arlington Lane. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. It's Friday, but guess what? It's a good reason. I'm rubbing my head because I'm getting myself prepared for this. It's Fan Friday here at the A-Train Show. So whatever you want to talk about, to make sure that you hop in and join in on the conversation. Joining me today on the show. See, I had a surprise for you folks, but I want to make sure I kept it under wraps. Joining me on the program. Before I do that, I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors over at Fuel Sports Network, McDougal Bats, True Victory, Just Meat Jerky, and Dubby Powder. And you can always go right now, seriously, right now, fuelsportsnetwork.com, and you can tune in to our show. You can check in our content that we got going on 24 hours a day. All right. We got some good things coming up for Friday. Hopefully we can get one of my favorite shows, the Rough 'em Up show with Cullen Watkins and myself, going down at 3:00. So make sure you tune into that Saturday this weekend. Make sure you tune into the Team of Rivals podcast at 8 a.m. centrally, 9:00 in the East, 6 in the West. And we'll definitely keep this thing going as we got here at Fuel Sports Network. My special guest today on this Fan Friday. Good afternoon to you as well. That's my PD tuning in to the show today, and he's been all over the place in Vegas, so I appreciate him for that. But my guest today is the host of the Derek King Show that you can check out every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern here on the network. The one and only Mr. Derek King. What's up, sir?
The champ is here.
The champ is here.
in the flesh, live and in living color. Ooh, yeah. I've been all the way to the top. I've been all the way to the bottom.
Fan Friday.
The madness strikes.
What's going on? Excalibur tuning in to the show today. Appreciate you joining the mix here. The champ is definitely here. Yeah, he's here. It's Fan Friday. I want to talk about some things, but first, I want people to laugh today. All right, I'm always in for a good laugh. One of my great laughs to start off this Fan Friday comes from probably one of my favorite television game shows of all time, Wheel of Fortune. Take a look.
Tavares, right in the butt.
What?
No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Thank you, Raven, because I needed that, baby. Ooh.
Wow. I mean, come on, man. This is just Wheel of Fortune here. This is a nationally televised, syndicated show that millions of people watch. Could you imagine the dander on the old folks' home? Could you imagine how wound up they are when they're watching Wheel?
And you know, Will has been an institution for years. It's almost 50 years with this show, and you know you're going to have some of the craziest answers on this show. That one, by far, is probably one of the craziest. And for those that don't know, Pat Sajak is retiring in 2 weeks. He's officially retired already now, but the last show won't air for another 2 weeks. And so June 7th, folks, if you want to catch in, game day speech, oh boy. Hey, but listen, the funniest thing also with the clip was the woman on the blue side. She sit there yelling, "What?"
Best answer ever. That's what Excalibur says. It was the best answer ever. I can't help but agree. I cannot.
I said Pat Sajak
And
did not retire soon enough.
You got to think, dude. I mean, come on. I mean, that's where it goes. Like that's your first inclination is there.
Oh gosh. Oh man. Hey, just that 15 seconds alone. Like, what fixed your mouth to sit there and say that particular answer? Like, it wasn't even enough letters for you to say right.
No, and you have to say that. I mean, that, like, spell it out. Come on, look at it. Think about it's just your mind immediately goes there.
If I get a chance, I would love to talk to that contestant on the show, and I want to know what fixed. Why was he going for the viral moment, or was he really trying to get the answer right? Because you can't spell right like that on Wheel of Fortune. You can't. You can't do it. You can't do it, man.
It cannot be done.
It cannot.
Well, I mean, there was the restaurant Eat Right, in St. Louis. So, I mean,
still, come on, Derek, you can't do that. You cannot do that.
Right in the
that and what? Then my other favorite answer was a group of pill pushers.
Yeah, that's
answers I've ever heard on that show, and I'm like, Pat just cannot retire soon enough, man.
That reminds me of that bit from Hollywood Squares, the revamped version where Tom Bergeron was the host and the voice of Iago from the Aladdin movie.
Gilbert Godfrey. Rest in peace, Gilbert.
Where he says, what do you say to somebody who has a hairy back? And he goes, well, I just pretend they're wearing an alpaca sweater. It's just okay. All right. Let's see how it is. Let's see what we're doing.
It led to the big "you fool" moment, and that's probably one of the best moments in game show history. Like, seriously, like this, and of course, Family Feud, who has probably the best of all time answers, because that's the type of show Family Feud is. And Steve Harvey, 15 years in the game now with that show, and like, I just want to know how long can he go with it, and how long can he withstand these crazy answers Well,
I got one to bring up, and I won't get too deep into it because obviously trying to be family friendly here. We're not in prime time. We're basically essentially a prime time slot here, so we got to be family friendly. But he had asked the question, what when your woman asks you to do something, what is it? And the guy's response was classic, all time, just class. And Steve Harvey just lost it, and he's yeah. He's all over the stage. He's eating it all up, and it actually happened to be on the board because a couple of them that didn't, and you're like, oh well, yeah, that's obviously not going to be on the board, but this one in particular was. So, if
there was a show that I would love to go on right now, it would have to be the Family Feud. It would literally have to be that, because that is a show for laughs. It's meant for comedic purposes, because you want to know how people think, and it's just regular you and I individuals. Yes, we're together. We are together today. That is a show where you're going to have some of the funniest answers, and if you be just yourself with it, the laughs come. If you try to be funny within it, it's not going to be as funny. Like, just be like, if you do go on the show, just be your normal selves, have a good time. Yes, this is the other one I want to go on to with the current host, Elizabeth Banks. That is probably, I think that's the best show on television right now. Best game show on TV, because I never thought that you had to add something to make it better, because I didn't think you needed to. But it pulls in the feels, and that has a lot of dramatics in it because you're gambling on every spin. So yeah, that's probably one of the most exciting shows on TV. But Family Feud, as in game I want to play with folks, yes, a lot of people do it at home, and or do it for events. So Family Feud is like probably one of my all-time favorite. What you thinking, man?
You know, for me, I really always loved Hollywood Squares. That was always kind of my thing. That because I always loved the quips, you know, the smart remarks. I loved the original Hollywood Squares, and if anybody knows that was my thing. I loved the original Hollywood Squares. I loved the type of characters and people that they had on it, the jokes that they would do, the subtle little quips. Paul Lynde, obviously, you know, being on there. And, you know, a lot of people don't know he was one of the voices in the Charlotte's Web cartoon. And so Paul Lynde being on there and making the jokes. And obviously at that time period, it was, you know, not very well known that, you know, he was the way he was, and he just played it so well, and he played it off so hilarious. And I just have so much tremendous amount of respect for Paul Lynde and what he did, you know, to bring that to that forefront and be able to entertain us in the way that he did. It was such a good show, and I really loved Hollywood Squares. And
that's making a return next year. CBS is going to have the Newlywed Game is another
game. That was a good one. Yeah, that was
especially when
that one. That one could be funny every now and again. That one could be really, really funny. You're laughing, and you know why. But you know,
it led to one of the most hilarious answers, similar
to
what you saw on Wheel of Fortune.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That we can't.
Where is the strangest place you ever made whoopee?
Yeah, whoopee.
It was bad.
You know. Oh yeah, back behind a clandestine bar by a dumpster or something like that. You know, you'd figure that's what somebody would come up with, but you know, I mean, the reality of it, come on. What are we talking about here? What are we even doing? We need to take a break. That's what we need.
We sure do. We're going to take time out. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have some more. This time we're going to talk some baseball. And it's always whatever you want to talk about. With Sports Network, so stay close. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train Arlington Lane. Of course, I got Derek King joining me here on the program.
Woo! All aboard!
This is Fan Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go.
Yes. Like now I have to really do this one just for the sake of, because it's Fan Friday. So go ahead, sir.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about baseball right now. And right now, the Philadelphia Phillies are running everybody out of the off the field. And they're sitting, I think right now as we speak. I want to make sure I got that stat on them. 37-14, 51 games in, and they're the best. Dodgers right behind them by like 4.5 games. And they've been it's not a surprise with this team. The Phillies consistently have been making moves to be better than they were the year before, and they've made the playoffs the last few seasons. Of course, adding Bryce Harper to the mix has been great. Their bullpen has been pretty untouchable, and that's the success story that you can have to get to the World Series. And I think we didn't have any clip on it. Yeah. This is some of the.
We got a couple coming up.
This is some of the things that you see.
This from the May 22nd game that they had coming up here that we're going to show a quick clip on, and this just goes to show the importance of defensive prowess within the league and what this team brings to the table against the Texas Rangers coming up.
Line drive left field. They'll stay in the yard, but it's going to take a one-hop off the wall. Marsh gets to it quickly. Here's his throw to third on one hop. He is out at third. What a throw by Marsh.
And that's the kind of stuff that you're looking at, defensively from this team. That's, again, it's not just batting. Yes, we know that hitting home runs and getting on base, all that stuff is important. But what cannot be forgotten about is good, solid pitching and stellar defense. That's the most critically important things.
Yes, and the Bronx Bombers are looking like the Bronx Bombers again. They sit at 35-17 themselves. So the Eastern divisions in baseball seem like they got their divisions on lock right now. But my biggest thing about that is, the way that they format the playoffs these years. Number one seed pretty much has a bye, and so they're not playing as much compared to the other wild card teams that they put in, and they play more games, which kind of gives them a better opportunity for when they start playing that number one seed. They kind of have an advantage. And it has not really equated to the top seeds getting to the World Series. The last time the top seed happened was with the Dodgers in 2020. But that was a 50-game season. That wasn't where it wasn't. I guess that equates to. Is this the standings what we have right now?
This is your current standings as of right now, and what we're looking at. And again, if the fans can't see it, I'm going to go ahead and walk everybody through it. And just in the NL East right now, the Philadelphia Phillies, as you stated before, Arlington, is 37-14 right now. The Atlanta Braves, very distant, 6 games back. Already early on in the season, 29-18, Washington Nationals, and then the rest of the divisions. The one thing that really surprises me at this point is just how bad the New York Mets are. And when just here a year ago, we were talking about how they could potentially be World Series contenders. They picked up Justin Verlander, they picked up Max Scherzer, and and all these different pieces. And we really thought there was going to be a big change of guard in the NL East. And obviously the one big surprise is right here with the Atlanta Braves. And that's what we're seeing here right now, where the Philadelphia Phillies are on top. Now, obviously, we're early on in the season right now. We're going to be seeing some adjustments and some changes. Nothing really surprising necessarily in the NL Central, obviously, as we go down the line. But just focusing in here on the NL East, the big surprise is really the Atlanta Braves being about 6 games back from the Philadelphia Phillies at this point.
And if I'm trying to think, I think that I'm trying to think Texas Rangers, when they won their first championship, were they a wild card team or did they win in their division?
I would have to go back and actually look at the statistics on that from last year. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick because I can give you the actual breakdown of what that was. So for last year, let's see, Texas Rangers, they were a wild card team. They were second in the division behind the Houston Astros, but they were tied 90-72 with a .556 winning percentage.
Yes.
So they were tied.
That's my thing. Yeah. And so wild card teams tend to do better because they play more games, right? And so it is about defending your home field advantage, but in baseball, you never know. And so a lot of things can change at any given moment during a series,
That's right.
And that's why I'm sitting there like, is that really the best thing, or should number 1 seed should go ahead and play like the rest, so at least they'll have an even amount here.
But again, that's what makes the playoffs. That's the whole point. But again, this is the problem that I have with Major League Baseball and its structure. I will always have this issue with Major League Baseball and its structure. And the problem is when you have a 162-game season and then you just throw it all out the window come playoff time, well, because they had a 103 record and then they go up against a team that had 87 wins. And because that team that had 87 wins was maybe a little bit more fresh or something else had occurred to cause that team to, come on hot there towards the end of the season. We saw it with the Cardinals in 2011 whenever they came from all that distance back in September and August, and they made up all that ground, and they ended up bumping the Atlanta Braves for that second spot in the wild card and managed to go in and win it all against the Texas Rangers in 2011. We've seen this happen before. This is nothing new. But
right.
I personally feel if Major League Baseball wants to be back on that level and could be competing with the NFL, as we all talk about the 10,000-pound polka dotted pink elephant in the room, the NFL is the big cat, then you're going to have to start making some changes and adjustments to this formula.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where I see what's going on. But, you don't have a problem with underdogs winning. There's no problem with that because you want to see it. You want to see them beat the almighty team who could be in the postseason. And that's kind of the situation that happened during football season, even though that they were the champs. The Kansas City Chiefs, they were the underdog in many of those games. And at least from Better's standpoint, did he just wipe all of us out?
Yeah, he did. He tried. Okay. Yeah, I see how it is. I see how it is now. Yeah.
But that's my thing. When it comes to playoff formats, I get the winning, got to get in, and anything can happen. But also the same, you're loud, dude, in the back. So that's why.
But here's the thing, Arlington. This is my big deal with Major League Baseball, and has always been my big deal with Major League Baseball. You play 162 games to get to this point, and you're telling me you're going to get railroaded by a team that barely squeaked into the playoffs? I understand that it's the same thing with March Madness. But again, you see it, and how often do you have a low seed team versus a high seed team, and it flips? I mean, very rarely do you actually see a team that comes in at like a number 15 seed knock off a number 2. It just doesn't happen. That's why they have the seeding systems the way they do, is to weed all the weaker ones out. And we've seen it time and time again in certain particular basketball divisions, even in the NBA. We've seen the same structure to where they'll play in tougher divisions against tougher competition. And yes, their records won't necessarily be as good, but and again, on paper, but philosophically speaking, they're a better team.
All right, I'm going to bring in my guest now. You can catch him on whatever freaking show that he decides he wants to pop in on. So he decides to pop on this one. He's the chairman of the board, and we're bringing him on now. He's like, Bring me on. Bring me on. He's in there begging. There he is. Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, it's the busiest time of my day, and I've been sitting in traffic. Hey, first and foremost, I gotta give. Hold on, no, don't laugh because you're gonna feel like a real butthole when you hear. The Fuel family thought and prayers to the two families that lost loved ones today on the accident here in St. Louis at 270 in a car fire. Our thoughts and prayers. Oh, I just dropped my phone. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those families that lost their loved ones today this morning. So it's been a nightmare with traffic today. So thoughts and prayers there.
Okay.
Yeah. How you feel now, Arlington? You don't feel too good now, do you? Laughing.
It's you I'm laughing at. It's not the families that I laugh at because I don't laugh at families that lose their loved ones when it comes to that particular. You tried it though. You tried it.
I tried. I tried just a little. Just a little. I gotta say, we've had some big announcements this week, apparently.
And we missed one.
Still just keeps. Did we miss one? Which one did I miss? Which one? Happy Hands?
You didn't do it on this show, but
no, we didn't do it on this show. Well, we still have one more show to do it on. So tune in on Wednesday at 8:00 because I got another announcement. Maybe I should talk to you two off the air about that before I make the announcement. But anyways, as you see, there is the merger between Fuel and Gateway City Sports. The reason why this merger was done, we've said it, is because now we are the largest fan content provider of anything right now. Yeah. Show me another one that's larger than us. I'll wait.
Are you doing this for real, man?
Oh yeah, I'm waiting. Can we find one? Oh, that's right, we can't. We can't. Oh, see, now I might be invading the Gridiron game. Apparently, the Gridiron today. So it's Saturday. I don't know. Never know where I'll pop up at. Hell, I just pop up. I mean,
the chairman pops up anywhere.
All right, I am going to get yelled at because I am on this show right in the busy time of my day by a certain person. But that's beside the point. I'll deal with that later. You know what I mean? Oh, there it is, the press release. So, yeah, I mean, listen, Arlington, me and you have been doing this for 6 years. We've built this into something that's great with such a passionate fan base that we have. Derek has always been there alongside of us, kind of helping us and promote. And we just kind of decided, hey, it's time. Let's do this. Let's do the merger. Let's make this one of the largest fan-provided content providers there are out there. With the Roku app, the website now, fuelsports.com. You can download us on Roku and Fire Stick, Amazon Fire Stick at Fuel Sports Network. Go get the app. But yeah, it just made sense for us to do it with everything going on. Yeah, right there. There's the good old website. Look at that. That looks pretty. That looks pretty. Don't it look pretty?
You're so stupid. Why are you like this?
It looks pretty. Dude, I've literally been in my car all day, and this is the first time I've actually gotten to take a break because it's just nonstop. Oh.
I had to. I couldn't help myself. I had to.
I know. I gotta say this. So I gotta say this because it's the first time I've actually gotten to really say it to both of you guys. Thank you both for believing.
We don't need to hear that. We don't need to hear it.
Yeah, see.
So here's the best part about it, because I am the chairman and I get to control.
The chairman's in charge, baby.
I can control the stream. It doesn't matter. You can mute me all you want. It don't matter because I can unmute myself. But no, before I go, thank you to both of you guys for believing in this crazy concept that we've created. And hell, like like Kevin says right here, the rise of Fuel is coming. There's no telling where we will be going.
It's here, the cream always.
That's right.
Rises to
so hey, I love you both. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
How do I get out of here?
Bye.
Just like that. Just get out. That's the chairman of the board.
The chairman of the board. Like I said before, the chairman's in charge.
Chairman is in charge. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have some more sports talk. Hey, if you want to get in on the conversation, you can. Whatever you want to discuss. Hey, what did you say, Cody?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Leave that up. We're going to leave that
Friday.
Up. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to come right back with more of the show right here. It's the A-Train Show right here on Fuel Sports Network.
You aren't perfect. If you've ever struggled, if you've ever failed, if you want to get better, be better, and make our world better, this is the perfect brand for you. True Victory. Founded by U.S. military veterans, True Victory is a sportswear and streetwear brand dedicated to building everyday champions on and off the field. We're a cause. Our purpose is to transform lives and elevate humanity through the power and unity of sports, positive stories, and serving others. We're dedicated to the game, the grind, and the globe. But most importantly, we're dedicated to you. That's what it means to be. Always true.
Same great taste. Yes, same great taste. Same great taste.
Back on this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train Arlington Lane. Derek King joining me from the Derek King Show today. This is Fan Friday. Make sure that you can get in on this. Hey, you see that at the bottom, McDougalBats.com. If you were looking for high-quality bat, nice-looking bat. Look, and as you can see, my man has one in his hand, a McDougal bat. You can go to McDougalBats.com.
That is my personalized M10 Powerwood 3434 made by
sweet,
wonderful folks made in the USA from USA source materials. This particular bat happens to be a tan oak and hickory combination bat. This is BB Core certified. It is going to be more expensive than your traditional bats, but this is where the cream rises to the top. When you buy one of these bats, they have breakage warranties on them. They have guarantees. The fact of the matter is, if you have a kid that's in sports, they're playing baseball, again, certified at every single level below BB Core, you could use these bats. Guys, come on. This is a great bat. It's a great feel. It's a wonderful thing. They're also coming out with a new walnut version of this bat, but make sure you go over to McDougalBats.com. Build your own bat. I mean, they have the software. You know, it's like the $1 Million Man. We have the technology. We could do it. They could build your own personal bat over at McDougalBats.com. Make sure you use the promo code Fuel Sports Network, because if and you do, you get yourself a nice little discount over there. And plus, you know, it helps us out too. So we appreciate that.
There you go. There you go. All right. Wrestling is big this weekend, folks. We didn't get a chance to do it on Wednesday, but it's big this weekend.
It's a big deal. Yeah, it's wrestling has become popular again. It's become, instead of a lot of people sitting around and going, yeah, I mean, I watch
also
it every now and again. Yes, absolutely. Check out True Victory Apparel too as well. We got a discount code over there with them too as well, I believe. And it's wrestling has become a big, huge deal nowadays. It's been a reinvention of the format that, and again, you and I, Arlington, and there's a lot of the viewers out there could attest to this too as well. We were built up through the advent, coming up the golden era in WWF at the time. Obviously, the transition into the Attitude Era, what we dealt with WCW, with the NWO in 96, 97, and obviously the later iterations and where the downfall of that and where that kind of went. But it's definitely on the upward trend again.
Definitely, for sure. And WWE is in Saudi Arabia right now for King and Queen of the Ring. Of course, Vegas has Double or Nothing this weekend, of course, with AEW Collision. That's for the True Victory. If you do the Save 15, you get 15% off with fuel. Definitely. And I know we speak about wrestling, but another big thing is in Vegas is that Caitlin Clark is playing this week.
Right. Yeah.
Against the Vegas Aces this Saturday, as a matter of fact. So big game.
That's going to be must-see TV. Again, I mean, if nobody's been paying attention to what's going on in the WNBA right now, you want to talk about wrestling, you want to talk about that start right now, go watch yourself some WNBA games. I guarantee you're going to be impressed by the product and what you're going to see nowadays. It's changed a lot. And the fact is that we've got so much to cover in that. And obviously we've talked about the Caitlin Clark stuff and everything else that's going on right now within the league, but there's some amazing stuff going on.
And Fuel Sports Network will be in the building for that game against the Indiana Fever. So Aces and Fever. So as always, good to see that we're doing some things to provide more content for those that's within those communities. But I gotta go to wrestling first because this big King and Queen of the Ring thing that's going down. I was shocked. With the results of there was a match between Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. It was the first matchup. I did not want it to be in that realm, but I understood why.
They went pretty tight on that. I mean, the stuff on the outside of the ring and that was
bringing in
really,
the kids into the storyline.
Tugs at the heartstrings a little bit. But I mean, and then Nia Jax coming over, your mom sucks.
That suck. And I was cracking. It was good. It was good for why. And I'm glad they did not allow Jade to beat Nia because it would lead to conflict between that and Bianca Belair because she advanced as well, beating Tiffany Stratton. And so it made sense. Spoilers are out. I'm not going to say it because they taped it. I think they did it now. They did the SmackDown show now, like currently right now as we're speaking.
Right.
And it's done. Or they did it yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, because they do everything. Saudi Arabia is far ahead of where we're at right now. So they may have already taped it. And so if you want to go check out what the spoilers were, go check them out. A lot of people are believing Nia Jax should be Queen Ring. I agree with it. I agree with that. You already
have my opinion on that, but I'm going to save it till after you're done with yours.
All right. I believe because Nia has already been a champion, right? Bianca is a champion right now. Jade is a champion who got beat. They don't need that title. Nia's coming back into the mix now. She's starting to be more of that dominant force that we've seen early on when she came in from NXT. And her being Queen of the Ring would just make more sense to me. You said you had an opinion on it. I want to hear yours.
I do have an opinion. Here's my opinion. And I always take cues from what they've already kind of done in the men's division over the years and kind of the direction that they want to go with this. They need a monster heel. They need someone that's big, strong, powerful, scary. That's what they need. They need that protagonist and antagonist relationship that they're trying to build this core storyline around. And they need Nia Jax to be that destructive, unstoppable force, or that the immovable object, if you will, the Andre the Giant type, Big Show, the Beast incarnate, anybody that can come along to say, this is what we need to build this guy up to. Obviously, with Brock Lesnar, you go back a few years against The Undertaker, broke the streak at WrestleMania. None of us saw it coming. We thought that Undertaker would still continue his streak, broke it. And why did they do it? Because it was the right time. It was the right place. They were trying to build Brock Lesnar into an unstoppable monster to be able to feed him to Roman Reigns. And that's eventually what they ended up coalescing to. We obviously look at the same thing with Roman Reigns, bloodline storyline, Cody Rhodes losing to him at not this last WrestleMania, but the WrestleMania before last, and the build up and lead up into where we are today. So that's what I think they needed to be doing with Nia Jax.
And definitely a long title run is what Kevin has stated. Yes, we would love to see that. I know she's had her issues in the past personally with how she handles wrestlers in matches, being a little bit more aggressive than she should be. A little bit, I feel like, well, she's a big body, so she's going to have to be aggressive. And I know sometimes it's lead to more pain for these wrestlers. And she has an upcoming, I think her Queen of the Ring title match coming up is against Valkyria from Raw. And come on, man, it just makes sense to have her as Queen of the Ring. And on the other side, for the men's side, Gunther being that, let it be. I'm game for that. I want to see Gunther as King of the Ring, a heel like him. You can make him the next unstoppable force. He had that lengthy title run as Intercontinental Champion, probably one of the best runs we have seen with the Intercontinental Championship, and having him as King of the Ring would just be perfect for him.
I agree with that. It just there's so many ways that you could take that kind of a storyline and where you can go with it and what you could do with it. And we had this in private conversations too as well, when we were talking about the run that Kofi Kingston had and the wasted run that was. What they should have done with Kofi at that time. And we will be talking about this at a later time on another show. It's a neat little show. It's going to be coming up called The 10 Count. And we're going to be talking about this stuff. But they wasted a run with Kofi Kingston. I'm going to talk about that in the 10 Count. That you guys will not want to miss it. But they definitely wasted that run.
So you just heard kind of an exclusive. We got a new show coming out called The 10 Count. So make sure that you tune in to that. We're going to talk about a bunch of wrestling on that show, just strictly. So that's where we at with that. But yeah, that's true. It was a wasted run. I believe a lot of other wrestlers had wasted runs. Big E did. Bobby Lashley did too. Those are things that will be discussed. But for Gunther's sake, him coming in, being a NXT UK champion when he came in, and he was a dominant force there with the Intercontinental Championship run, and then this King of the Ring. I don't know, but I would love to see him in the world title mix. I don't know. I'm just seeing something there where at his, he's 6'4", 6'5", he's very big, and he's had great matches against many of the greats that's on Raw right now. Maybe a chance at a world title should be something in his future, immediate future. Something before Survivor Series, maybe SummerSlam, getting into the mix.
Well, and the thing is that you've got the world title situation, right? You got the world title picture. You've got what's going on with that, and you've got certain particular people that are kind of coalescing and revolving around that center focal point. We've got Damian Priest, obviously. We've got Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. We got LA Knight that kind of continuously floats around either the US title, intercontinental title, world title kind of range. He's not WWE title yet. But again, that is a completely separate subject that we'll get onto in a little bit. But there definitely needs to be more build around that title as the premier workhorse title. And that's really what it needs to be built about, because back in the 80s when we were, younger lads and we were watching the WWF at the time, or WCW, or the NWA, we saw United States champions, we saw TV champions, we saw the Intercontinental champion, and most of the time we saw people of names like Macho Man Randy Savage, the Honky Tonk Man, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. You know, you go over to the NWA side, you saw TV champions such as Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. You saw, I believe, Magnum TA held it for a little while before his tragic motorcycle accident and ended up costing him his career. You go over to WCW, you see kind of the same type of players that were carrying that TV title not TV title over in WCW. Well, actually, it was TV title in NWA, but obviously with the merger and everything, things kind of get murky. But they had their United States Championship over there to supplement. But you see a lot of those characters, and I think that's really where the world title needs to be built around. It's that workhorse type of title.
Right. And right now, Damian Priest is, in his situation with Judgment Day. I think they just added Carlito to the mix for a bit. I don't know how well that's going to play if they're using him to say that he's part of it the same way Sami Zayn was part of the Bloodline when he was doing his thing. Just now you have Raw mix, because remember SmackDown was like that with Sami Zayn, a part of the Bloodline, and he was able to infiltrate and make some stuff move and make some stuff worthy of breaking up the Bloodline in a way of sorts, which led it to Jey Uso leaving at that point. Jimmy had to go away for a little bit, and then
now we're going to see this. We're going to see all this storyline start to coalesce. We're going to see I firmly believe is a Bloodline civil war. I think that's where we're headed with this. That's the way it looks, in my opinion. It kind of smells of that. With the division within the Bloodline, once Roman Reigns does come back from his hiatus and his little Hollywood break and the other things he's going to be doing from taking time off. And I think we're going to see that. We're going to see kind of like NWO Hollywood, NWO Wolfpack. But instead of it being the way that the messy NWO was in WCW at the time, you're going to see it a lot more cleaned up with this Bloodline Civil War angle. I think it's going to be a lot better to talk about.
Yeah, I think so.
I do believe we have a break coming up, don't we?
Yeah, we do got one more break coming up, and then we're going to touch a little bit more on this wrestling thing and try to bring this all to a head. So we're going to come back. We're going to wrap things up in the last segment.
Got a lot to cover. Don't miss it.
Yeah, you don't want to miss this. This is the A-Train Show right here on the Fuel Sports Network.
Houston, we've triumphed. I've made it back to Earth with the cargo intact. The game-changing, time-sensitive payload is none other than the revolutionary energy flavor we've all been waiting for. Introducing Merc Mayhem Cherry Limeade. Merc Clan played a crucial role in securing this energy flavor, and together we've unlocked the future of power. Merc Mayhem is not just a drink, it's a statement, a fusion of relentless energy and bold flavor. The secret is out. Merc Mayhem is set to redefine the energy landscape, leaving ordinary drinks in its cosmic dust. Get ready for a taste explosion that matches Merc Clan's unparalleled power. Join the revolution, and let's unleash Merc Mayhem upon the world. Astronaut M signing off.
Final segment of the A Train show here on Fan Friday here on Fuel Sports Network. Hey, folks, make sure you go to fuelsportsnetwork.com. You can check out all of our great content there. We are making changes as we speak to the new website, so you definitely want to get on with that. Hey, see at the bottom, McDougalBats.com. If you're looking for a nice looking bat that you want to utilize, either a personal bat or something that you want to use during your baseball or softball season, make sure that you go to McDougalBats.com. And thankful to our wonderful sponsors at True Victory Apparel, also Just Meat Jerky and Dubby Energy Powder. All right. What is this? What if they have The Rock come in and side with the new bloodline, and that's how we get Roman versus Rock? Aha! That could be something. That's definitely on to something. Make sure you
remember, everybody, True Victory, save 15 now when you go over to True Victory. Do not forget these codes, guys. These codes are very important to save you some money, because that's what we're doing around here. We're trying to save you some money. Just save some money. Buy the stuff. It's great. Save some money.
I think what Andrew is on to something here. What if they have The Rock come in and side with the new bloodline? That's how we get Roman versus Rock. It's definitely interesting, but the key thing is going to be who's going to play the boss. It's going to be The Rock, as he stated in this past storyline, or like who's going to be the heel here? That's what's going to be the key. And
I think that's probably where we're headed with it, because it's the only thing that makes any logical sense. You look at they have made it clear they want to bring Roman back as a baby. I mean, they've made it clear that's the direction they want to go with it. And so if that's the way they're going to go with it, then I think you're looking at other characters that you could see the clear division. And I kind of joked with the outfit that Solo Sikoa had came out with here last week, that he kind of looked like The Weeknd. He looked almost exactly like The Weeknd. Go back and look at it, pull it up. The red jacket, the little gloves, the whole, he looked like, I swear it. That's what it looked like. But I think that's where we're headed. You're going to have that. They're going to have their own side. You're going to have Roman, which is probably going to be Jimmy and Jay. That's probably going to be over there. That's probably the direction that we're headed with it.
Yeah, and Solo and Rock teaming up together as the heel.
And Tonga, the whole smash, they're all going to be over there on that side. Yep. And don't forget, Fatu's going to be coming in too. So it's
right.
And it leads. What side? Is he going to be siding with them, the new blood, or is he going to be siding over with Roman and Jay and the other Fatu boys? What direction is he going to go? We don't really know. That's going to be the wild card.
Survivor Series would be a good place for that, especially now that they're doing the 2 rings and what do they call it now? It's a name for it, and it just
War Games.
War Games is what they're doing, yeah. And so, that's for those that just really now getting into it. So that's Survivor Series from this point on. Survivor Series is now War Games, and they might as well. I'm not saying in the name Survivor Series, but with the 2 rings and stuff, that's how your Survivor Series matches are going to be.
There were some really great ideas that WCW had. Now, when they went to World War, you remember the World War component where they had the 3 rings? You remember that?
Wow,
that was a disaster.
Yeah.
That was
you can't do that.
You cannot do. I think it was World War III or whatever they had.
That's too much.
It's too much going on. Nobody can pay attention to it. 2 rings is bad enough. But again, with the component of it is like with what you stated with Survivor Series and having a couple of teams, who the bad guys are, how the format is. Look at this last Survivor Series and how that all played out with the return of CM Punk. And how that all went down. And Randy Orton, came in, again, they were trying to play it. Some people, they picked up on it. I was smart to it. I knew it was going to happen. But, the whole point is that some people were shocked that CM Punk came out the way that they did. I knew that they were going to have him come out. I just didn't know in what sequence they were going to do it and how they were going to have him kind of work with this, because again, you're in that caged format. So what is he going to do? I knew that it had to be at the back end of that, and I just didn't see how any of that fit into the storyline of what they were trying to tell with him interfering in that match.
And I think what it was inadvertent with the whole Rollins going after him. Someone said, F you. And I think that's what was trying to formulate from that. And then Punk gets hurt at the Rumble.
And then Seth gets, tweaks his knee.
Yeah. And so we missed out on that Punk Rollins matchup that we were trying to get, because that was going to be Mania.
Right. That's where they were headed.
And Punk was going to, I have a feeling Punk was going to win the world title off of him. So he can get
I don't know. I don't really know if that's exactly, and I think that's probably what they were going to do, but it wasn't going to be a long-term run with Punk with the title. I think they were going to immediately flip that.
Yeah. And so just to, have him have it, and, he's going to immediately, I think I wouldn't mind seeing Damian Priest cash in on CM Punk instead of it being Drew McIntyre. And that, because we got to remember, Drew McIntyre, that's CM Punk spot. So either way it goes, Damian was going to cash in at that moment. Right. And it was whoever was in that spot was going to be having, like you said, it was only going to be a quick run. He had it, and then it leads to Priest and Punk instead of McIntyre and Priest.
And here's the thing, and we're coming up, we got 3 minutes out, but we're coming up, and the thing is if you see a belt, right, call it what you want, a belt, a strap, championship, and the thing is that's a prop. That's all that is. And the idea is that will help elevate the star level of the person holding it. CM Punk transcends the championship. He doesn't need it. It's like The Undertaker, or Steve Austin, or Dwayne, any of them. They don't need something like that. They don't need it because they're already transcendent of a title. A title is what gives you prestige. It's what builds you, what you do. Ric Flair cut a promo in 2000 rise to his retirement match with Shawn Michaels on WWE Raw one time. This is what you all grew up like me go. That personifies what that was, and Ric Flair became bigger than the title. So when you see that, you think Ric Flair. When you see the NWA 10 pounds of gold, which is hanging off the wall over here to my left, you see that and you think Ric Flair. You see the NWA championship, you think Harley Race, you think Ric Flair. That's what you think, because they transcended that title. They elevated that title. And that is where we're going with this new World Heavyweight Championship for the WWE going into the future. Who is going to be that catalyst to elevate that title?
That is a great way to think, promote it. We had some fun here on this Fan Friday. Monday, back at it again at 1 Eastern. It's going to be Association Monday. And if you haven't seen so far, the Celtics have taken the first 2 games. And Dallas took the first game. So we'll see what happens come Monday. Derek, thank you so much, man, for jumping in and coming on board, man. Make sure that you check out his show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Some things might change where you might join a whole different group. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
Ooh, yeah, don't you know? So just for a little while, we'll see y'all on Monday. This is the A-Train signing off, catching you for another edition of the A-Train Show right here on Fuel Sports Network. Good night.